Iys Thee Giver of life, and of all things good. John chapter 1 verse 1-4. And in the beginning of the creation of Iys world, there was and was the Word, known as Eod, and also the word Od. And was called the Od. And was called Elu. And was the name of the Holy One whom was Od, and who was with in the beginning of the world. And was also called Elu, and also Elu'hymn. And was the Sovereign One whom created Iys world. And then Godreel came into Iys world. And then Godreel corrupted Iys world. And Godreel whom became known as Satan and also God for short. And God began to claim all the credit for creating Iys world. And this same Godreel whom was known as God was the serpent in Iys world, Iys garden, who corrupted Iys creation in the beginning of the creation of Iys world. When the Od commanded Eve, gave her the choice of procreation with everyone with the exception of Godreel. And Godreel was angry. And then Godreel deceived Eve. And Eve conceived. And this was one of the reasons for the downfall of mankind and womankind in the creation of Iys world. And this was largely because of the sin of disobedience which led to the corruption of mankind, and also womankind in the beginning of the creation of Iys world. And this same God who was also known as Godreel, and also the serpent of old, and who crept into Iys garden, where Eve was living in the beginning of the creation. And at a time when Elu, the Od, and the Sovereign One placed all mankind, and womankind in Iys garden, where they were all cohabitating together. And Satan, who was called the serpent and also whom was known as Godreel and also God for short, entered into Iys garden where mankind and womankind were living in harmony there. And Satan the serpent assaulted Eve there. And then Eve conceived, and she became pregnant by Godreel, who was known as the serpent. So Godreel sinned against by sleeping with the first woman. And so they disobeyed Elu, and then Elu'hymn banishes Eve and also Godreel from Iys garden, and because of their disobedience the curse of sin and death came into Iys world. But Iys the creator of life and also of all that is good. But Godreel is the destroyer, and God is also the taker of life. And also God is the evil one, and also all that is evil. But Iys the sovereign creator of all things, and also the giver of good things, and all things that were created by Elu, were inherently perfect and were created good. And also all things that were made, they were all made and created by Elu. And it was by Iys words, and also by Iys commandment that they were created. And it is because of that we are here, and why all things are here. And there isn't anything here that wasn't created by that shouldn't be here, and that wasn't created by and that isn't here that wasn't being made by Elu. That shouldn't be here. And Iys life. And created all that had life, and gave them life, and created all that didn't have life. So Iys the Od, whom the Od created life and light. And also gave us life and light, and also all good things to all mankind and womankind. And he also gave life, and also good things to all living creatures. And also to all Iys angels, and also all that are Iys, and also all non-living things. Thank you. To be continued. The end.